This is where many people would have met their final demise. They've been rowed through that gate on a boat. However, they would not have been receiving a commentary. On the other side of that gate, the executioner would have been waiting for them for such crimes like treason. Ladies and gentlemen, you've joined us today on the River Thames just before high tide. High tide is in about 2 hours' time at 6 o'clock today. And the next low water will be 6 hours after that. And 6 hours after that will be about 6 metres lower than where we are. And that's because every 6 hours here on the River Thames we have a rise and fall of about 6 metres. You've currently joined us today just here. Some of them go alongside the Belfast and some of the larger ones stay down at Greenwich. But like I say, during the summer months this is a common occurrence to have visiting ships visit us here in London. But ladies and gentlemen, while everyone's looking to the left hand side, I'd like to point out the Shard of Glass. This is Europe's tallest building, and if you're brave enough to go up to the 70th floor, they have a viewing platform up there. And on a clear day you can see up to 50 miles away. Also many award-winning restaurants on the top floor, and if you're here in London looking for property, they have a few penthouses available at the very top. One of them recently sold to the singer-songwriter will.i.am. Just up there on the top floor, you can see people standing up there now. This is called the Sky Garden. So if you are interested in this, ladies and gentlemen, search the Sky Garden on your phone. You're best to book in advance. But that's a lovely little tip for you there. That building has a free viewing platform for you all to enjoy. It's called the Sky Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, that yellow brick building in front of the walkie-talkie with a lead roof and the fish as weather vanes, that is the old fish market. That's Billingsgate Fish Market. There's been a fish market on that site for 1,000 years. And this glass building next to the fish market, this is actually the headquarters for the Window Cleaning Association here in London. It was founded by two men. One was called Sammy the Shammy, the other one was called Luigi the Squeegee. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just a joke. I'm just seeing if people are paying attention. Over there on the left-hand side, you're going to see London Bridge Hospital. And this is London's most private, most expensive hospital. They only actually deal with two things inside that building. That's broken bones and heart attacks. You go in there with a broken bone, then they give you the bill, and then you have the heart attack. Ladies and gentlemen, next thing I'm going to point out is on the right hand side, very shortly coming into view between the buildings, but many years ago we had a big fire here in London. It was so big we called it the Great Fire of London. And now between the buildings you're going to notice a monument with a golden candle. That golden candle marks the spot when the Great Fire of London started back in the year 1666, almost 400 years ago now. This bridge in front of us now, this is London Bridge, not to be confused with Tower Bridge, this is London Bridge. And this is the oldest bridge here on the River Thames, not this one, there's been 5 bridges here over the years. The first one was built by the Romans more than 2,000 years ago. Now ladies and gentlemen, slightly ahead of the boat on the left hand side, between the buildings there, you're going to notice the pirate style vessel. Does anyone remember the Johnny Depp films, Pirates of the Caribbean? Okay, lovely, if you have a really close look at that ship, you can see it has nothing to do with these films. It belonged to a Londoner called Sir Francis Drake, or Frank to his friends, and that ship's called the Golden Hind. He was one of the first sailors to sail around the world. It took him 4 years, but on that ship he made it successfully. It's also a museum, so if you want to get a bit closer, well worth a visit. Lots of history over there. Now ladies and gentlemen, the bridge in front of us is not the prettiest bridge here on the River Thames, however it's the oldest railway bridge. It's Cannon Street Railway Bridge, built in the year 1866. Ladies and gentlemen, once we come out the other side of Cannon Railway Street, maybe the most important building I'm going to show you today is going to be directly on the left hand side. And once we come out the other side, you're going to notice a brown brick building with red windows. And ladies and gentlemen, like I say, maybe the most important building I'm going to show you today is the Anchor Pub. And this is the oldest pub here in London. There's been a pub on that site for more than 400 years. And it is also rumoured that Shakespeare used the attic of that pub as a dressing room for his nearby Shakespeare's Theatre. Many celebrities visit this pub, and me and the captain often go here after work. But we go here after work to do research. Research about the River Thames to tell you lovely ladies and gentlemen more facts about it. It can be very thirsty work, and sometimes we spend so long in that pub we forget all the research we've done, and we have to go back the next day just to do it all again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Suffolk Road Bridge, but once we're clear of Suffolk Road Bridge, slightly ahead of the boat on the left-hand side, you're going to notice the white circular building with the brown windows and the thatched roof, the Tudor-style building. That is the Globe Theatre, also known as Shakespeare's Globe. This is where Shakespeare would have performed many of his plays, such as Romeo and plays like Juliet. but they're the only two plays that I know of. And this is the only building here in London with a thatched roof, and that's because after the Great Fire in London, it then became illegal for any other building to have a thatched roof other than Shakespeare's Globe. Ladies and gentlemen, it is actually an open top theatre, so if you are planning a visit, pick a day where it's not raining, because if it is raining you will get wet, and so would actors. But don't worry, the show will continue, and this is actually where they get the saying from, the show must go on. Ladies and gentlemen, very shortly on the right hand side you're going to see the dome and cross of St Paul's Cathedral. And St Paul's Cathedral has the second largest freestanding dome in the world, and that's second to Peter's in the Vatican City of Rome. And St Paul's is 365 foot tall. Nice easy number to remember, 1 foot for every day of the year. And St Paul's is actually open 7 days a week. But a little tip for you, ladies and gentlemen, it's free to enter on a Sunday. And that's because it's a functioning church. They have a church service in there on a Sunday. It's a lovely little tip for you there. But now, ladies and gentlemen, this red brick building on the right hand side in front of St Paul's, this is the new City of London School for Boys. Although it's the new school, many greats have been there over the years, just to name a few politicians and actors. Boris Johnson, and also Daniel Radcliffe, better known as Harry Potter. But if you see the price of that school, if you see how much it costs, you'd also want your child to leave with magic powers. But now, ladies and gentlemen, over there on the left-hand side, you're going to see the old Bankside Power Station. But in recent years, this is now a modern art gallery. It's called the Tate Modern, and as the words say at the top, Tate Modern, free and open to all. So it's actually free to enter, so if you're into modern art, it's well worth a visit. If you're not into modern art, you're quickly going to realise why it's free to enter. Ladies and gentlemen, next bridge is in front of us now, the Blackfriars Bridge. This first one is Blackfriars Railway Bridge, and this was built for the 2012 Olympic Games. But like most things here in London, it was running late, so it wasn't completed till the year 2013. And ladies and gentlemen, you'll see people standing up on this bridge and trains up there, and that's because this bridge is actually the train station for Blackfriars. And all across the roof here, these are actually solar panels, and this is where the train station gets 80% of its power from. The only thing these solar panels can't do is make the trains run on time. Ladies and gentlemen, next bridge is going to be Blackfriars Road Bridge, and it's this point of the River Thames where they say the river water meets the sea water. So as we approach this next bridge, both sides of the boat, on the stone columns there, carved into the stone columns, you're going to see seagoing birds carved into the stone. But on the upper side of the bridge, they're inland river birds. So seagoing birds this side, inland river birds this upper side, and that's just to represent this part of the River Thames where they say the river water meets the sea water. Ladies and gentlemen, once we're clear of Blackfriars Road Bridge, on the right hand side you're going to see that stone building there with a sloped green roof. And this is the old City of London School for Boys. Although it's the old school, many greats have been to that school over the years. There's actually 4 statues of great students just underneath the green roof. I'm going to name these students now left to right. That first one we can see is Francis Bacon. That second one is William Shakespeare. That third one is Isaac Newton. And then that fourth one is David Beckham. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm just joking because David Beckham never went to school. Now over there on the left hand side, you're going to notice that red brick building there and a tower with the windows that spell out OXO. A little fact for you now, it's illegal to advertise on the banks of the River Thames. You're going to see no McDonald's signs or no Starbucks signs, and that's because this is the King's Royal Highway. But you would be right in thinking OXO, that's OXO the stock queue. When the building owners were confronted about this, they said purely coincidence that their windows spell out the name of their product. They was actually taken to court for this situation, but they've won the court case and they've had free advertising on the River Thames ever since. Ladies and gentlemen, at the start of the trip, I've said you joined us today just before high tide. Over there on the river wall, you can see the green lions' heads. And in about an hour's time at high tide, the tide will be touching these lions. And we have a few rhymes that go along with this, one of them being, when the tide is up to the lion's mane, London is going down the drain. But mine and the captain's favourite one, when the lions are drinking, London is sinking. And when the lions are ducked, London is flooded. They don't all need to rhyme. Now ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice a stone arch here with a face of old Father Thames on it. This arch marks the boundary point. We're now leaving behind the City of London and we're entering the City of Westminster. You may be able to see them silver dragons on the roadside. These are positioned at all entry points to the City of London. Now ladies and gentlemen, slightly ahead of the boat on the right hand side, you're going to see a black and white barge over here called the St Catherine. And this is the old royal barge. So if the King or Queen was ever visiting London and going on the River Thames, they would have went on this barge. But in recent years, they have a much newer, nicer, fancier one called the Gloriana, which is downriver in St Catherine's Dock. So if King Charles, Prince William or Kate are ever visiting London, they go on the much newer, fancier one. But if Harry and Meghan are visiting, we just put them on this one. It's the old spare one. Ladies and gentlemen, finally on the right hand side, you see this stone building there with a green dome on its roof. This is Somerset House. This building used to be of importance, as in this country, this is where we used to store all birth certificates, all marriage certificates and all death certificates. So we nicknamed this building Hatcham, Matcham and then Dispatcham. But in later years the taxman moved into that building. But then we just added Catcham onto the end of it. Now ladies and gentlemen, this next bridge in front of us, this is Waterloo Road Bridge, and this is the longest road bridge to span the River Thames here in London. But we like to call it the Ladies Bridge, and the story behind that, during the years 1939 to 1945, while the males were away fighting for king and country, this bridge was predominantly built by the ladies that's left behind during the wartime. This bridge is built out of an expensive Portland stone. Trust the ladies to pick the expensive stone. But this stone is self-cleaning, so the face of the bridge cleans with the rainwater. And as we pass underneath the bridge, you're going to see the dirty underside where the rainwater does not reach. This bridge was the only bridge to be built on time and under budget, so well done to the ladies. But once we come out of Waterloo, on the right-hand side, you'll see a stone building there with a green roof and a Union Jack. This is the Savoy Hotel. This is also their white boat, the Silver Sturgeon. And I know many of you may have come from this hotel this morning, but this is one of London's most prestige hotels. And to get a room in that hotel with a river view, it was setting back £10,000 just for one night. However, I have heard it does come with a lovely breakfast. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the oldest thing you're going to see in London today, that stone obelisk, also known as Cleopatra's Needle. This is over 3,000 years old, so older than London itself. But this is a present from Egypt as we helped them win at the Battle of the Nile. That needle has a twin which we found in Central Park, New York. That is also over 3,000 years old. And we actually spent a good bit of time, but we studied the hieroglyphics on the needle. And it actually translates to Made in Egypt. But now, ladies and gentlemen, the other side of the river there, left-hand side, you're going to see Royal Festival Hall. And I know it's not much to look at, but that is a world-famous concert hall. And it has world-famous acoustics inside. Many greats have performed here over the years, just to name a few. Michael Jackson, who has sadly passed away. Whitney Houston, who has sadly passed away. Frank Sinatra, who has also sadly passed away. We're now just waiting for the Justin Bieber concert. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joking, we love him really. Is it too late to say I'm sorry? Ladies and gentlemen, this bridge here is Charing Cross Bridge. However, there's a footbridge and we have a bit of audience participation. We'll ask the captain to sound his horn. And if we get the attention, we'll start to give him a wave. Hopefully we get a wave back. Ladies and gentlemen, if they wave back, it means they're on holiday. If they don't wave back, it just means they're from London and they're a bit grumpy. We'll try again on this bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, this is also for our safety. If we can see their hands waving back, it normally means they're not going to throw anything at us. Last week was a strawberry milkshake. Ladies and gentlemen, now into the iconic part of London, and over on the left-hand side, our South Shore, you're going to see the Millennium Wheel, also known as the London Eye. This was built in the year 2000 by British Airways, and there's 32 pods on the London Eye, but 32 is not a random number. That represents the 32 boroughs of London. And that's actually why we call it the London Eye, because from the very top you can see all 32 boroughs. But a little fact for you now, ladies and gentlemen, the London Eye is one of the most popular places in the world for marriage proposals. But ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen particularly, if you are planning a marriage proposal on the London Eye, please do think it through. Because a round trip would take you half hour, you have 15 minutes on the way up, and you may be planning this moment for weeks or months in advance. And your plan may